Auburn is off to a great start with a victory over Mercer, and I'm already hearing a lot of the talk because of the quarterback play we saw last night. And so I just want to talk about specifically Robby Ashford because that seems to be what everybody's interested in talking about. We got a glimpse of him yesterday. He played actually a little more than I expected, and because of the way he played, there's a lot of talk from fans who want to see him get more action in the game. So I want to take a little bit of time to talk about that, what he did well, where he can improve, what he said about his play, and what that ultimately means for Auburn in the quarterback room. I think the first place we need to start is to talk about Robby Ashford's athleticism. So we knew he was a very athletic quarterback. We knew he could run, and that was on display against this game versus Mercer. When he first came in the game, he ran for, I believe, 49 yards. Huge run right out of the gate. Real quick, let me show you a clip of that run, and then we'll keep on talking. As you can see, there's really no question about his ability to run the ball. That's not where we have questions with Robby Ashford. So it seemed like each time he was in the game during the first half, for the most part, or it may have been the entire first half now that I'm thinking about it, he only ran the ball. He did not pass the ball, or he might have handed off the ball to Tanker Jarquez, but we did not get to see his ability to throw the ball. So getting back to the point of this first clip is we know that Robby Ashford has a very, very good athletic ability, the ability to run the ball. He is a running quarterback if he needs to be. He's got that athleticism, and that was shown multiple times during this game versus Mercer. So that is something that he has that TJ Finley does not have, and Calzada can, but it seems like Calzada is not in the race. So we're just going to talk about TJ and Robby. So comparing the two, this is something that Robby brings to the table that TJ Finley does not. It's that elusive ability, that if things start to break down or things start to close in, he can break out if he needs to, or if it's a designed quarterback run, he can do that. He can pick up a first down or a 49-yard run if needed. He's got that ability. He's got the legs to move the ball down the field. And that's just something that, as Auburn fans, we've seen time and time again has worked well at Auburn. We've not seen that in a while, really, since Nick Marshall, I would say, for the most part. Some other people may disagree. But it's something that's exciting to see, and it gives you another level at that quarterback position. It gives another level of unpredictability. Now, the problem comes in if we do it too much. And that was my concern as we were watching Robby in the game, is that we were running him a little bit too much, or he was running a little bit too much, because what we don't want to happen is we do not want him to be a one-dimensional quarterback. We don't want it to be that if Robby's in the game, he's running the ball, we know what's going to happen. We want it to be where he's unpredictable. We don't want teams to know what's expected. And luckily for us, further into the game, we got to see a little bit more of Robby Ashford. And so now in this next section, I want to move into his throwing ability. We did not get to see too much of this in the game, but what we did see from Robby, man, was it exciting. In the third quarter, we got to see a beautiful deep pass from Robby Ashford. So take a look at this pass real quick, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Play action. Ashford wants to throw. He does downfield. Has a man open. He's got it inside the 10-yard line.
I know that last season, one thing we really were missing was somebody who had the ability to hit a deep pass like that. And so Robby Ashford right out of the gate has shown that he has the ability to hit that deep ball. He hit that pass to Javarius Johnson, and that's something that really quieted the fans who were wondering if Robby Ashford could throw. We saw that he can run. He's got that ability. He can hand off the ball, all that good stuff, but can he throw? And then immediately he shuts down that criticism with this deep pass. He also had a good pass to John Samuel Shanker, I believe, that I'll throw in here real quick on the side if I'm able to find that. But he did not get as many passes as I hoped he would, but honestly, he got more playing time than I expected. Yes, it's a first game, and we wanted to make sure TJ Finley got established as that QB1, but unfortunately, I think it really just muddied the waters in the quarterback conversation. I think it's a good problem to have, but it really muddied things because TJ came in and I think he was 8 for 9 right off the bat. And then he had those two picks, and we can talk about those two interceptions later. I think, yes, they were bad, but I don't want those two interceptions from TJ Finley to take away what he did on those 8 or 9 passes previously. But anyway, so we did get to see 2 or 3 good passes from Robby Ashford, but I still think we're missing something. We still need to see more from him. We need to see how he does more consistently when he's throwing, 10, 11 passes. And so I know that as a team, we want to establish the run game. And guys, wow, our running back room is just killer right now. It's very impressive. And so we do want to establish the run game, but at the same time, we have to see what these quarterbacks look like passing. And so far, TJ Finley does look good overall. Take away those two, I know it's easy to say, but take away those 2 interceptions. Outside of those 2 picks, he is a very accurate passer. And then Robby Ashford, he showed that he has a flash in the pan as far as he made 2 very good passes. And now we need to see a little more consistency. Can he do this on a consistent basis? And so going forward, I do think that's what we'll see against San Jose State. I think that Robby Ashford is still going to be the backup quarterback, but he is certainly making a case for himself to be QB1. And so Brian Harsin and Coach Kiesau are going to have a very difficult decision on their hands because now what they have to do is they've got this excitement that's building behind Robby Ashford. I think overall I feel better about TJ Finley, but then on top of the feeling better about TJ Finley for the most part, we now have this new quarterback coming in Robby Ashford, and he had some excitement in the offseason that started building around A-Day, and now during practices and scrimmages, that excitement kept building, and now after game 1, the excitement is only growing exponentially. And what do you do as coach when you have the guy you named a starter? He's doing okay, he's doing pretty good, but then this other quarterback comes in, and the excitement is just through the roof. What do you do in that situation? We've discussed Robby Ashford's ability to run the ball. We've also looked at the passing ability he showed in this game. And so now let's actually take a look at the stats and what the stats tell us between Robby Ashford and TJ Finley. And so if we look at that, TJ Finley was 9 for 14 for 112 yards passing. Robby Ashford was 4 for 7 for 100 yards passing. We look at why they were so close. Robby Ashford was only 12 yards off of TJ Finley, and really the difference in that was that that long pass for the most part that he had to Javarius Johnson that picked up a lot of that yardage for Robby Ashford. Overall, outside of that, Robby Ashford had no touchdowns or interceptions. TJ Finley had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Now, going beyond that, let's look at the rushing. Yes, TJ Finley had more passing yards, he had more passing attempts. But then when you add in this layer of rushing, Robby Ashford was the second leading rusher for the team. Tank Bigsby had 16 carries for 147 yards. Our second leading rusher was Robby Ashford, 6 carries, 68 yards, and one of those was a 49-yard run. That was that exciting run that we saw earlier. So I think the good thing we have right now is we really truly have 2 quarterbacks who could start. The question is, what kind of quarterback do you want to have in the game? Do you want somebody who's going to stay more in the pocket like TJ Finley, or do you want somebody who is a deep threat passing, but also a deep threat on the run with Robby Ashford? And so I think what we really saw in this game against Mercer is we saw Robby Ashford make a case for himself to be QB1. And I expect going into San Jose State, I expect this conversation to only get more confusing because I think that the coaches are going to give him even more opportunities to throw the ball. And so that's just going to make it even more confusing going into week 3. But honestly, I'm here for it. I like what I'm seeing out of both quarterbacks. I told you, take away the 2 picks. I know that that's something you have to discuss, but I really am very interested in how this quarterback race is continuing. Because while we thought it was over, what we saw last night, this quarterback race is long from over. Both quarterbacks want to be QB1. TJ Finley's got it right now, but Robby Ashford is coming. The next thing I want to do is take a look at a few of the comments from Robby Ashford. So after the game, he was interviewed. So take a look at a few of these comments that he made. I'm not going to show you every single one, but I want to take a look at a few of the comments he made and what that tells us about Robby Ashford.
Just getting out of Jordan-Hare, it almost felt like a dream. I was just taking it all in, just kind of like, wow, I'm actually here. Like, I remember coming to games as a recruit, all of that, and it's like now I'm getting to play in it. And I mean, it was just a dream come true. First college snaps, and I mean, I wouldn't want to do it with any other team, with any other coaching staff, with just everybody who's helped me throughout since I got here. It's been nothing but love, and I appreciate them so much for everything.
How nice was it to hit the deep ball so that defenses can't just look at you as a run guy?
It was good. It was good because, you know, kind of just being an athletic quarterback, everybody likes to downplay my throwing, but I'm a quarterback. I'm not an athlete. So hitting that, that was my first, I want to say college pass. I mean, and just to hit that and then hit it to one of my boys that I've known for so long, Bar, it was just great. I mean, it just gave me just kind of a sense of confidence, just like, okay, I know I can go out here and do this. And I mean, I had some first game jitters, but hitting that definitely gave me a lot of confidence.
How would you sort of compare you and TJ's strengths? Do you feel like y'all have different areas that you kind of excel at?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm just a little faster. I mean, just being able to run the ball is something I've always been able to do. And then I feel like we both throw the ball great. And then TJ, the thing about TJ is you can't display his running ability because he can make plays when something breaks down. And as much as people think he can't, and I've seen it. So
excited to get to throw the ball a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, I was really excited to get to throw the ball. When he told me, I was like, all right, let's go. I was pumped. So I didn't want to be out there get too nervous, like the first game jitters or anything. It was just go out there and do what you know to do. That's what Coach Keesaw told me, and just play ball. I mean, that's all it is to it. Just go out there, play ball, know your assignment, know what you're doing, and the rest comes natural.
I think what really stuck with me from what Robby Ashford said is just how grateful he was overall. You have to remember, he's been at Oregon, and he's not seen the field since high school. So I think he's just overall extremely grateful to be at Auburn and to get a chance to get on the field and show that he is a collegiate quarterback. He's been going for this for, quite a while now, and he was used to being, the number one guy at Hoover, and then as soon as he went to college, he never saw the field. And so to be getting the chance at Auburn to be the starter, even though he's not yet, he's getting a chance to show that he is a college-level quarterback. You can just see the joy and excitement on his face, and that's awesome, because what that shows is that he is hungry. He wants the starting job. He wants to be at Auburn. He wants to play for these coaches, and all those things have to come together for you to have a truly great quarterback. You have to have somebody who wants to play for the coach, wants to play for the school, and wants to do the best they possibly can. And so I think what we saw in Robby is that he even said himself he was a little nervous at first. He had those first game jitters, but as soon as he got out there, I didn't see that a lot at all. We saw him really get out there and just turn it up and show that he is an exciting player, he's an exciting quarterback, and he wants to be here and he wants to play for Auburn. Outside of what Robby said, we also heard from Coach Brian Harsin, and he spoke a little bit on the quarterback. So let me show you just a couple of clips of what Coach Harsin said about Robby Ashford.
Review it. Does that give Robby Ashford a possibility or the opportunity to be the starter for next week?
Well, I think we got to watch the film first a little bit, and again, look, TJ's our starter. All right. He came into the game as our starter, and Robby got a chance to play and did well. TJ had a couple turnovers, not ideal, not exactly what you want. All right. But we're not making any decisions right now. We're going to go back and really look at, all right, what was it that caused the turnovers? How did guys really play? Because there's a lot of other things too, just stuff that you guys don't see. It's not just throwing the ball. It's just how he's operating as well. And, there's plenty to learn. I mean, that's the one thing. There's nobody on this football team that's a finished product. And it's never going to be that way in the first week, in my opinion. I've never coached a team where you're like, we got it. All right. This is going to be the season already, and we're going to win every single game after our first game. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, those guys, you got to give them time to develop. And you got to think when you get out there too, there's factors that we just had a chance to play in with our fans being out there and the whole vibe and all those things like that. And there's just a lot of stuff that goes on in the game.
I think what I truly take away from what Coach Harsin said is that he's leaving the door open. He said that TJ Finley is the starting quarterback, but he is leaving that door open for Robby Ashford. He had some good things to say about him. He obviously he's given him a chance for the reason, but he did not close the door and say that no, TJ's the starter and we're not looking at Robby Ashford to be the starter at some point. He left that door open and left that possibility open for Robby Ashford to be the starter. And so the main thing I want you to take away from this video is I'm not arguing that Robby Ashford should be the starter over TJ Finley. I'm just giving you the case right now that if you think he should, I'm giving you the information that's out there that would make the case for him to be the starter. We've still got a lot of time. We've got the San Jose State game coming up. We've got preparing for week 3. And I think in the next 2 weeks, we're going to know a lot more about this starting quarterback situation. So I'm going to keep watching this. I can't wait to see what happens in this week 2 game versus San Jose State. And I hope we see a lot more exciting plays from Robby Ashford as well as TJ Finley. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this kind of deep dive into what's going on with Robby Ashford. And if you liked it, please go ahead and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, and like this video because that's going to help this reach more people. Hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, check out some more videos on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.